Episode 1, Chapter 2. There's stuff here. I don't believe it, whooped the doctor with laughter as he trotted this way and that, taking in every detail of Ponyville. He looked through the market stalls, watched fillies run this way and that, and invaded the personal space of far too many ponies for Ditsy's own liking. For the umpteenth time, the doctor ran back to Ditsy's side and said, "They're ponies, and they talk! Oh, planet, we're talking ponies!" He emphasized each point with a wave of his new hooves. For the umpteenth time, Ditsy rolled her eyes at the doctor's foolishness. "You're definitely an alien," she remarked. The doctor let out a giggle at her joke, suddenly froze, all frivolousness gone in an instant. "Hold on now." Ditsy stopped walking, looking at the doctor, who had donned his mask of seriousness unnaturally quickly. The doctor spun out his hoof towards her and pointed at her. "You said if these ponies saw me in my Time Lord form, then they would freak out," he remembered. Ditsy nodded. "I said that," she confirmed. The doctor readjusted his stance, looking at Ditsy suspiciously. "Then why didn't you?" She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Out of nowhere, some pony not looking where he was going tumbled into the doctor, cutting Ditsy off. The doctor quickly regained his composure and looked up to apologize, only to see the doctor standing in front of him. Ditsy's mouth stayed wide open as she'd watched the two doctors look at each other, tilting their heads in sync. The second doctor suddenly began fumbling with his hooves, looking away. Sorry," he muttered. "Must not have been, paying attention." He awkwardly nodded towards Ditsy and the doctor, and then made his way around them, running off in some direction. The doctor that was left watched himself run away, then turned back to Ditsy. "That was me," he observed. "Well, a future version of me." Ditsy nodded. "That's weird," she observed, trying very hard to remain calm. The doctor looked at her. She could see the gears in his mind turning. "What's weird about it is that he's still here, and if he came back, and you didn't freak out when you saw me, that means—" He spun out his hoof and began walking down the street, not straying his path to look at the sights anymore. Ditsy lunged after him, keeping with his brisk pace. "What does it mean?" she asked. "There's something here," the doctor stated ominously. "Something that shouldn't be." He turned to Ditsy again. "I need to know all the knowledge that you have of extraterrestrial life. Now!" he instructed. Ditsy was confused and a bit scared at his seriousness. Just minutes ago he had been so jovial, relishing in the thought of a planet full of ponies, but now it was something else. "What?" she asked carefully. "Why didn't you freak out when you saw me, an alien, fall out of your tree?" he rephrased. Ditsy thought back, forming her words carefully. "Well, actually, I had seen you before. I didn't know you at the time, but you kind of barged into my house in your, Time Lord form, and you started talking to me like you knew who I was. After a while, I guess, you realized that I didn't know you and left. And then, later on, I saw you fall out of the tree, and you didn't know me." "That's because that version of me is from the future," the doctor explained, still walking unswervingly forward. "It hasn't happened to me yet." Ditsy suddenly realized what he meant. "What? You mean like time travel? Like in the movies?" she asked. "That's right," the doctor confirmed, holding his face to look at her. "I'm not just an alien. I'm a time-traveling alien." That's so cool," Ditsy said, unable to contain herself. She loved watching sci-fi movies. Time travel, aliens, space travel, all of that stuff fascinated her. And the doctor was living it. She didn't doubt him in the least. After all, she had seen him as a Time Lord. She didn't need any more proof that he was an alien. "Yes, it is," the doctor said. He did not smile. "What's less cool is that while I managed to stumble across this lovely planet, something else did too." "How do you know?" Ditsy asked. The doctor looked her in the eye. "I came here twice," he said in unshakable certainty, as if that was all the proof he needed. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary lately? He asked. You mean like... Yes, besides me, the doctor interrupted, rolling his eyes. Ditsy nodded. Get it, she said, thinking back. Scrunching up her muzzle, she tried to remember if she had seen anything remotely alien, besides the doctor, of course, but she wouldn't come up with anything, so she shrugged. The doctor clicked his tongue like he was expecting that result. All right, I've got another idea, he said, walking right up to the nearest houses, putting his hoof on the door. Ditsy was aghast. What are you doing? She asked. The doctor looked back at her. What? You can't just barge into some pony's house, Ditsy insisted. Did you just say some pony? He asked, smiling like that was the funniest thing ever. Disregarding the rest of her statement, he swung the door open wide and walked right in like he owned the place, chuckling to himself. Ditsy stayed outside. From the inside, she heard a strange conversation. Who the hell are you? A clock inspector. I'm here to, inspect this clock right here. Hey, put that back. Doesn't look good. No, see, we're going to have to... Ditsy heard a loud crack. There we go. That was 5 bits. No, see, not in this condition. You see this thing, Bob? See, it should have been connected to the doohickey when in actuality it's right above the yickety-too. No, that's not good. See, I'm going to have to take this into shop. Good luck with you, and the best of luck in all your future endeavors. The doctor leapt out of the home, closing the door quickly behind him, and holding a partially disassembled clock at his hooves. Out of nowhere, he pulled out a long silver tube capped with a blue light and shone it on the clock pieces with a high-pitched buzzing, twisting wires around the parts and rearranging gears and motors. Doctor? What in Equestria did you just do? Ditsy asked with worry. I might have stolen a clock, the doctor conceded, not taking his eyes off the clock parts. When he was satisfied with his construction, he showed it to Ditsy with a sly smile. Ding, he said. What's that? It's a machine that goes ding, the doctor explained helpfully. The machine looked like a roughly thrown-together plate of clock parts wrapped in wires and topped with a slowly rotating disc. He pulled it back and looked at it with a smile, stepping off the doorstep. It also detects signs of alien life and downloads comics from the future. He threw a hoof over Ditsy's shoulders and held the machine in front of her face. This, my little pony, is a timey-wimey detector. Ditsy looked at the timey-wimey detector, and then the doctor with a blank look on her face. It goes ding when there's stuff, he said with a straight face, and it'll help us find whatever's here that's not supposed to be. The doctor didn't let go, seeming to be waiting for something. Ditsy finally nodded. Okay, she said. The doctor instantly left off her. Okay, he agreed, holding the timey-wimey detector very close to his face and walking off in a straight line. Alonzi, he cheered. Ditsy ran after him, thinking, Here, Celestia, does he always have to run? What does that mean? She said instead.